Hey everybody, it's me, Cottage PK. Today I wanted to talk about, well actually someone requested that I talk about how I was diagnosed and when I found out about my schizophrenia. So I figured, why not? It's a good topic. It's an interesting story. It has a lot of twists and turns. It could be turned into a novel easily. Not really, but anywho, we'll start from the beginning. I'm sorry, I apologize, by the way, if I look nasty. I just ran my dogs. I also want to apologize to the person who asked or requested this video because I don't remember your username. But thank you for, requesting this topic. This video is for you and everybody else, but mostly for you. Anyway, so it started when I was about 15 or 16. I had been having really bad migraine headaches, and I missed a lot of school, and I was barely passing my classes and all that stuff, and my doctor for for that migraine, following the migraine case, was suggested that we up the dosage to about 50. I believe it was Elavil, and I believe it was about 50 milligrams. I'm not sure though, and she also added another medication that I was supposed to take as needed for the migraines. But stupidly, I thought she said take it every day along with the Elavil. So for about a week, I was taking that medicine and the Elavil. And, I was, going through the motions of life. I was still having really bad migraine headaches, but still missing quite a bit of school. But for that week, things seemed a little bit better. And I was it was actually the Sunday night. That's what it was. It was Sunday night, and I was taking my medication. I told my mom I had a huge headache, and she's like, "Oh, why didn't you take that medicine?" I said, "I am taking that medicine. I'm taking it every day, like she said." She said, "No. It's supposed to be taken as needed." I was like, "Well, I need it right now, so I'm going to take it." So I did, and I took the Advil along with it, and I decided I wanted to clear my head, and my sister wanted to take the dogs for a walk, so we took the dogs for a walk, and that's when things started to get bad. It was already nighttime. The moon was out. There were no clouds in the sky. It was just moonlight and stars. And so I was we were walking the dogs, and things started to get darker. And I was like, why are things getting darker? And I looked up at the sky, and though the moon was like really bright, when I looked back down to the to where I was walking, everything was just darker, like darker than dark, I should say. And I was like, what's going on? So I felt my chest, like heart pumping really fast. I was like, what's going on? And so I was like, I thought I was about to die. That's what I thought was going to happen. And so about a quarter of the way through the walk, my I started to see eyes, like red eye, glowing eyes with shaded figures around them. And there were whispers, and they kept saying, "Kill or be killed, kill or be killed, do it, kill or be killed," and then some other gibberish. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I was really confused and really scared, and I didn't know what to do. But I was like, okay, look, I just need to get through it. I need to get home, and I can be safe when I'm at home. And this was basically essentially a horror movie. It was like, oh shit, the horror movie actually became real. Like, it was that kind of moment, and it was frightening, and it was one of the worst moment, or probably the worst moment of my life, because I thought I was either going to die or do something that I was going to regret incredibly. And so I just tried to calm down, and then we got to about halfway through the walk. There's a statue that my neighbor has. Not really my neighbor, but someone in my neighborhood has. And I believe it's Mary, but I'm not up to date with my iconography, so it could be any other Christian figure or not Christian figure. But it was, I believe it was Mary, and I looked at it, and the eyes were bleeding blood, or the eyes were crying blood, and there was pools of blood around it and everything, and I was just like, what the hell is going on? And then this whispers started getting into yells. I apologize for my dog, by the way. Anyway, the whispers started getting into yells, and I started like losing my mind, and then the statue started to turn toward me, and then that's when I went black. And then finally, we're at the end of the walk. When I woke up, I was like, what the hell? I was like, what's going on? What's going on? I was like, I was in a state of huge confusion. And I asked my sister, I was like, look, I just need to get home. Are you going to be okay? And she said, yeah, I'm going to be fine. By the way, she's older than me, in case you didn't know. But she was like, yeah, I'll be fine. So I ran home. And as soon as I got in the house, I blacked out again. And I woke up on my mom's, the bedroom of my mom's floor. The floor of my mom's bedroom. I apologize. And I was my arms were being held by my dad and my older brother, and I believe I was trying to scratch pieces of my face off, but I don't really know what was happening. And they're trying to figure out what was happening, and I told them, and then they're just like, oh my god, are you okay? Blah blah blah. They took care of me as well as parents can. And and then it was happening from then on till I was 17 and a half, so about a year or two, more likely a year and a half. For about a year and a half, I was having hallucinations on and off, but toward the month I was gonna see a psychiatrist. The month before that, I had this horrible hallucination following me, and the best way to describe it is Slenderman and Smile.jpg put together. But I don't know any other way to describe it. It was a lot more frightening than that, but that's the best way. So that had been following me for a month, and I was depressed. I didn't know what to do with my life. I didn't know what was going on. I contemplated suicide. I didn't know what to do anymore. I was barely passing school. Actually, I barely passed 11th grade at this point. It was during the summer that I saw the psychiatrist. And finally, we saw the psychiatrist, and they're like, how long have you been having this hallucinations? And I was like, like a year and a half. And they're like, well, then, the diagnosis is generally, if you have them for about 6 months, paranoid schizophrenia, or just schizophrenia, and then they classify it afterwards. So she diagnosed me as a paranoid schizophrenic, and that was how I was diagnosed. And so, beyond that process, I was given a homebound counselor, and the medicine I was given at the time caused rhabdomyolysis, which is the breakdown of muscle. It actually inflames the muscles, and then it breaks them down and filters through the kidney and liver, and I was born with one kidney, so it really fucked me over. Now I can't do any lifting. I can't do a lot of exercises. I just have to try, if I wanted to exercise, cardio and stuff like that, just, low intensity stuff. And that was really my life at that point. After the second medication I'd taken had failed, and that was Abilify. That was really the second worst moment in my life, was when that medication stopped working. I couldn't take it, and I just wanted to, again, I wanted to just die. I didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't want to deal with these hallucinations, but I was able to learn to cope with them. My homebound counselor taught me the techniques that we went over in the last video and stuff like that, and techniques I've went over before, and a few other things, and I'm just really glad that I had him in my life, because without him I would have just crumbled and collapsed, and because of the I was only with him for 3 months after the medication failed. And during those 3 months, we worked on a lot of coping mechanisms, and I picked out the ones that worked for me best, and I've been using them ever since, and things are better for me, but they aren't really good. I mean, I can deal with life, and I can form relationships with people and all that stuff, but I still get hallucinations sometimes, and I still can break down at any moment, and I'm really only human. I take a good medication now. It's really kind of like just a tranquilizer. It helps me go to sleep at night and all that stuff, and keeps me, calm and cool. And I also take vitamin B12, and that's really it. That's all I can really say is that's how it's been, and that's how it's diagnosed, and that's the whole story. It, I don't know what else to say. I hope that clarifies things, and I hope that helps in any way if it does. But, if you have any suggestions for any other videos, please comment below. Or if you have any feedback, or if you want to say anything, or you want to tell us about your, um, schizophrenia or your mental illness, I'm more than happy for you to join the conversation, and I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you. So please go ahead, feel free. I'm trying to, have a welcoming community for everybody, so feel free. Thank you for watching again. I know this was a really long video, and it was a really long, this is a really long, conclusion to the video as well. But I do hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was informative, and have a great rest of the day, or night, or have a good night, or whatever, wherever you are, whatever applies. Goodbye.